Peace, love, greetings, and blessings to all. I am King James, and if you're new to my channel, this is pretty much a channel dedicated to some of everything: motorcycles, health, wealth, and fitness, dating, relationship tips and advice, and just getting through the opposite sex world, the world as a whole, relocation now, music, entertainment, and of course, cannabis, and everything else probably under the sun, because I feel I'm kind of knowledgeable in a lot of situations, a lot of different forms and arenas. I'm sorry, I'm doing something. Lost my train of thought, but I feel like I'm pretty well versed and knowledgeable in several arenas. So I make videos pretty much covering a wide span of everything. Anyway, today's video is all about moving to Southern California. Notice I took a pause there because it's always a big topic. Everybody wants to move to Southern California. Everybody is just so overtaken and intrigued with the whole LA, the Los Angeles, I guess the minutia of it, and the just the lifestyle, I guess, so to speak, between the marijuana, the legal cannabis, and the beaches, the women. What do they say? The three W's: the wine, weed, and women. Weather, weed, and women. Now I said wine. I'm tripping. The weather, weed, and women. But that's usually the huge draw point for most new Californians. The weather, the weed, the women, and amongst other things. I mean, the beaches and everything else. But there's a lot of things you really should know before you even think about moving here. Like, there is a lot of things you should know. Now, first and foremost, this is not a video to discourage anyone from moving here to Southern California. However, it's just meant to strictly inform you, just to make an educated decision, I guess, so to speak. Because you want to move anywhere educated, with an educated, I guess, sense of knowledge in your mind. You don't want to move somewhere blindly. I've moved places blindly before. We won't talk about that, but it really didn't turn out well. So this is more so to educate you and give you a wide, I guess, a wide opinion. And so you'd be more knowledgeable, a wider opinion, more than just yours and whoever else's. And of course, you have all these other videos like this on YouTube to widen your opinion and to make you more knowledgeable on the area that you're moving to. I'm going to try to keep it under 20 minutes, but it's difficult because there's a lot to know about out here. These are in no particular order, and let's start. The first thing you got to know about living in Southern California is the areas. This is a wide area. Southern California is pretty much considered anything about south of Bakersfield. So going from Ventura down to, I want to say not Santa Clarita so much, but Ventura down to Santa Barbara and on down. Santa Clarita is more so inward, but I guess you could consider it Southern California, down to Diego and Escondido and down to the border of Tijuana. It's all considered Southern California. Of course, Los Angeles and Orange County and all those areas as well. It's a huge area, very, very vast area. It's difficult to cover all of this area. If you have a vehicle, which you definitely will need, you're going to put a lot of miles on it, a lot of miles. You have Orange County, you have Los Angeles County, you have San Fernando Valley, you have Inland Empire, which is Bernardino County, Riverside County. You have Palm Springs, that's still considered Southern California. There's a lot of counties out here, a lot of areas. I mean, it's so easy to get lost out here. Freeways run you everywhere, but know that freeways are always jam-packed. Now, during the pandemic, they weren't, and it was like heaven. I mean, I was trying to go to LA at least once a week from where I am in the Inland Empire, because I could get to LA in probably 35 minutes tops. That's usually about an hour drive during normal circumstances and conditions. But during the quarantine, it probably was 30 minutes, 35 minutes tops. And it was beautiful. But normally it takes you almost an hour, depending on where you are, or around about an hour, depending on where you are in the Inland Empire or Orange County, to get to Los Angeles due to traffic. Traffic is everywhere, and the area is very spread out. So remember those two things. Traffic is going to probably hinder your commute, and also you're going to be driving all over the place. Putting 100 miles or plus on your car a day or your vehicle a day is nothing out of the ordinary here. It's very normal here. It's just a part of the Southern California life. So be ready to drive. Second thing, which is probably the thing you probably heard the most of here, is the cost of living. It's sky fucking high. There are places that are higher, like the Bay Area, You definitely probably want to stay away from there if you're trying to be, I guess, cost conscious. But Southern California does not stray far behind. I'm speaking for a studio bedroom. You probably can get a studio average anywhere from, now it's 2020, probably from about, I would say, 1,200 and up for a studio. And when I say 1,200, I mean it's probably going to be a shit shack. Just know that. If you want something nice, say in West LA, maybe even the newer buildings downtown LA, the high rises, or even like further, I guess, north, like around Dodger Stadium and Glendale, areas like that. If you want something around that area, be prepared to spend at least probably 17 to 1800 for a studio, as well as Hollywood. Hollywood goes up from about 1500 and up for a studio. If you want something by the beach, that studio or one bedroom, be prepared to spend at least about 1900, and that is per month, not for 2 months. That is per month. And the studio will probably be about probably big as your master bedroom is now at your home where you live now. So know about the cost of living. If you want a house, now you're looking to spend at least about $2,200 a month to be in a decent area. You can get areas in, say, South Los Angeles, which is considered the hood, or East Los Angeles, where you could probably get a studio for maybe about $900 to $1,000, maybe $900 to $1,000. But again, it's going to be in a very sketchy area, and you're probably going to have rodents, and the building's going to be old. It might be hard to get a hold of the super. Might be hard to get things repaired. It's definitely going to be a war to find a parking space. So if you want to live somewhere nice, studios and up, we're looking at least 12, and 12 is on the lower end if you can probably get it. That's the cost of living. That's the traffic. Now let's move on around to the people here. In Southern California, it's going to be very difficult to find friends. I'm just going to be honest with you, because a lot of people here are very, fucking fake. There's a lot of fake people here. That's another thing that a lot of people have associated with California, Los Angeles, what have you, is the fake attitudes. It's very fake out here, especially when you get into Los Angeles, downtown, Santa Monica, Hollywood. It's very fake. So be forewarned that finding friends is not going to be an easy task here. You're going to find it quite the arduous task to find someone that's a good friend, because good friends here, they cost just like everything else here. And that's just being factual with you. In terms of dating, you probably want to stay away from that as well, because dating here is an absolute nightmare. Whether you're a single man or a single woman, I promise you it will not be easy whatsoever, because that's where the fake component comes into play, as well as the what do you have that you can offer me component, which I guess pretty much reigns into the fake, but it's the same. It's going to be difficult to find someone to mate with, that you want to spend time with, and that you want to be in a relationship with. So count that as well as the high cost of living and fake attitudes and fake people here. Another thing you have to consider is how much things are here. Gas here on average is at least $1 more than the rest of the country, depending on what part of the country. It's not more than it is in the Bay, because in the Bay it's likely higher. But in, say, Texas, Louisiana, the Midwest, the East Coast, it's at least about $1 more per gallon. Nothing's more annoying than talking to your friends back home who are telling you that the gas is about $2.10 a gallon, and meanwhile in California, you're paying $3.53 a gallon. That's just what it is here. The gas will always be here. It always has been expensive here. It always will be expensive here. I can't see it ever changing, because they add this enormous, egregious tax on it. That's about, around, I think it's 46 cents now, between 46 to about 52 cents gas tax, which I'm not sure of, but that makes any gas price go through the roof when you impose a 46 to a 52, whatever it is, percent tax on it, as well as the utilities. They're through the roof as well. The kilowatts per hour almost double places like Georgia and Louisiana. Same thing with natural gas rates. Same thing with pretty much groceries. Same thing with everything. You're going to pay more for everything here. That's just the way it is. Oh, I need to go back for a second. I need to touch on something. As far as the living areas, I am so sorry for this. As far as the living areas, I'm going to try to summarize them all real quickly and briefly as I keep going. Now, LA County is, of course, the action. That's where everything is. You'll be closer to the beaches, and you'll be closer to downtown, to West LA, and to pretty much all the happenings that are going on in the Los Angeles area. That's LA County. It costs you uh, astronomical to live in LA County. Orange County is almost as expensive depending on where you are in Orange County. South Orange County, of course, is just crazy. Between Newport, Laguna, those are beach cities. They're expensive. Huntington Beach is very expensive. But when you go to, say, Anaheim, Buena Park, Stanton, Garden Grove, it goes down slightly, but not that much because you're more inland and you're not close to the beach as you are those other beach cities. So OC pretty much pales in comparison with Los Angeles County. The only way you're going to really see prices start to go down is when you move further east, which is inland, which is called the Inland Empire. And that's including Riverside counties, Bernardino counties. And that's including cities like Riverside, of course, San Bernardino, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, Upland. That's including cities such as Montclair, Pomona. It goes down that way, but you have to realize there is nothing to do in those areas, and it's very windy every single day. Beautiful scenery of the mountains, which are facing north, but again, keep in mind it's very windy and there's nothing to do, although it's slightly cheaper. San Fernando Valley is just as expensive, if not more expensive than Los Angeles County, because you have nice cities such as Calabasas, Canoga Park, so on and so forth. Studio City, you understand. That's the valley. Burbank. Is Burbank considered the valley? I believe it is. So therefore, it's very expensive. Woodland Hills, Sherman Oaks. These areas are just as much, if not more, than LA County. Plus, they closely border LA County as well. So you're going to pay for that also. Very nice in those areas, but you will pay. Now, the next thing to keep in mind is this is a great sports city. There are the Lakers here. The Dodgers are here. The Anaheim Angels are here in Orange County. The Los Angeles Kings are here. The Los Angeles Rams are here. They have a new football stadium that's going to really run the taxes higher than they already are. And they also have the Chargers here now. Isn't that something? They got the Chargers. So all those things in mind mean the taxes are likely going to go up even more than they already are, which brings me to my next point, the cannabis. Yes, LA is known for being the cannabis capital, the cannabis mecca, the first state that legalized cannabis in 1995, 1996, whichever year it was. They legalized it first. But now with the implosion, I guess, of illegal shops being raided, there's nothing really around now but legal shops. Legal shops charge the state tax, which exceeds about 35%, if I'm not mistaken. Therefore, if you go into a legal shop and you're trying to buy some cannabis, say a $40 eighth, that will likely come out to right around 60, give or take. Your best bet is to deal with deliveries or find yourself a sesh. A sesh is kind of like a cannabis flea market. When you walk in, there's nothing but vendor tables around with cannabis displays set up, and you can buy tax-free. Your dollar will go a whole lot further than it would in one of the shops. But I understand a lot of tourists, a lot of newbies, they want to go to the shops for the experience, which is fine. Everybody should go to a shop to experience what it's like to buy cannabis over the counter. Great. But I wouldn't recommend doing it no more than once because you're going to get raped by the taxes. Overall, Southern California is a nice place. I think personally, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, that it's a pit stop location. You come here, you experience it, and then you get the fuck on wherever you're going, wherever that may be, on to the next stop. But that's just my opinion. I don't think this is the kind of place that you stay for a long period of time, as I did. I was here for 5 years, and now in the next couple of weeks, I'm making my way back east. I want to be south. I like the South. I also like the Midwest because that's where I'm from, but I'd rather reside in the South because I'm used to down home folks. You don't get down home folks in Southern California or probably anywhere in California. So again, that's just my preference. I've met people here that have loved it. I've met people here from Tennessee and other states and parts of the country that loved it here. But most people I know are hightailing it the hell out of here. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy your experience here. Don't get a parking ticket because it's very easy to get parking tickets here. That's another thing I probably should have mentioned. Parking tickets are like one of the main draws of Southern California and probably California as a whole. I'm pretty sure in the Bay it's not much better. So make sure you have to read the signs when you're parking. Some of the signs are very misleading, as they have 4 to 5 signs on the pole, and that's intentional to throw you off. So try not to get a parking ticket. They all have red light cameras as well. That's another big draw on the local economy for the local government. Parking tickets as well as speed cameras. Be careful of the crime. Be careful of who you hang with here. Everybody here is an opportunist. Everybody here is willing and probably able to do some type of a theft or robbery, because I hear so much of it all the time. Just watch the news. You'll see all the robberies and thefts and home invasions and things like that. Again, this is not to scare you. This is just what's going on out here. It's not what it used to be in the 80s with the gangbanging, but it's still nonetheless high crime. You could turn on the television at any given time on the news and you can see a high-speed chase live. That's another good thing about being here. Watching a good old high-speed chase from the comfort of your own living room or your office, or maybe even in your car while you're driving. So once again, good place. I would consider it a pit stop place. Stop here, soak in the sun a few years, get a tan, make a few bucks, of course. Spend those few bucks on the necessities, because you'll likely have 2 to 3 jobs here to make ends meet, and then move on somewhere else. Hope you enjoyed the video. There's always more videos to come. Make sure you share this video. Feel free to share it. Feel free to like it, subscribe, whatever you do. If you don't, then that's okay as well. My channel will still be standing and will still be maintaining and thriving. So I hope I provided some insight for you. Leave any questions below. You know what? I forgot to touch on one thing as well. The food here. The food here is, it's meh. The vegan restaurants are your best bet here. Stick with the vegan restaurants, because the vegan restaurants are probably the best thing you'll find here. You won't find barbecue like the Midwest. You won't find pasta like the East Coast. And you won't find pretty much anything else from any other coast here. But you will find, if you like Mexican food, tacos, there's one of those, probably 3 to every block. The food trucks I would stay away from. Some good vegan restaurants I would recommend. Stuff I Eat in Inglewood. It's black owned. Make sure you support that. It's on Market Street. Flore Vegan is in Hollywood. The Veggie Grills, this chain, they're all over the place. I'll leave some addresses in the comments below, or in the description below, I'm sorry. And just make sure you check these places out, because they are vegan places. They are better for you than eating meat. But I'm not here to preach. If you like meat, then there's places everywhere, of course. I've heard of Craig's. They had good Italian food from what I've heard. I've heard of a diner in LA Live, like down the street, probably on 9th and Fig. People wrap around the block for this diner. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life, but just know that it's on 9th and Fig. It's a yellow building and it's a diner, and there is always a line. There's places like that. But again, the food isn't that great here, and I'm just being totally honest with you. So again, back to what I was saying, like, subscribe, share. I wish you all the best if you decide to move here. Any questions you may have, I'm here, because I used to really be out in Los Angeles. The few years I spent here, I did a lot. I found a lot, discovered a lot, did a lot, met a lot, did everything a lot here. So I try to answer as many questions as I can. You would think I'm from here, because I can tell you how to get almost anywhere in this city. And I just hope you enjoy yourself. So when you know better, you do better. Keep a 6-lane mind. Be careful. Make good decisions. Stay educated. Be back.